Is it a hog? Is it a beaver? Or is it a rodent of unusual size? Nope, nope, and yes. Well, sort of. It's a capybara, the biggest rodent on Earth. Closely related to guinea pigs, these semi-aquatic creatures can weigh as much as a human at up to 90 kilograms. That's a big guinea pig. And though they're large and in charge, they're harmless. They've even been dubbed nature's chairs, as they are so mellow, they let other animals sit on them. Well, isn't that neighborly? So why are these lovable giants so relaxed? Do they have any natural predators? And would they make good pets or patio furniture? Capybaras are native to South America, where they chill out along the banks of the Amazon River. And if you're in Florida, you may have spotted a small but invasive population roaming about. These critters are social, just like we are. They tend to live in groups or herds of 10 to 40 capybaras. A herd usually has a dominant male, subordinate males, several females, and their offspring. The subordinate males act as lookouts and bark when a predator is near. Maybe that's why they're so laid back. These giant rodents know they're safe until they hear a warning bark. Capybaras have befriended animals such as birds and monkeys. But they avoid predators like jaguars, caimans, and anacondas. Wise choice. And young capybaras can be eaten by ocelots and harpy eagles. You'd think that an animal 3 times bigger than a beaver would be a meat eater, but these rodents are completely vegetarian. They eat aquatic plants, grasses, and other plants. They've even been known to eat their own dung. Now that's recycling and disgusting. But their dung contains protein from the microbes that digest the food in their intestines. So when capybaras eat their poop, they get the nutrients they didn't absorb the first time around. It may be gross, but you have to admit, it's highly efficient. Especially since they eat so much. Each adult eats 2.7 to 3.6 kilograms of plants per day. And people who have kept capybaras as pets say that the rodents will mow their lawns for food. Now, you may be toying with the idea of keeping one of these unusually large, really chill rodents as a pet, but this is not ideal for the capybara. Since they're semi-aquatic, they need a lot of space and water. And because they roll as a posse, they also need friends. Lots of them. Even a pal isn't going to give a capybara the social life it desires. And nothing sounds sadder than an unhappy capybara. So if you're thinking of heading to the Amazon or Florida to get one as a pet, don't bother. Just get a guinea pig and call it a day. Hanging out with friends and being the world's largest rodent is what capybaras do. This bizarre bird found meme fame because of its bone-chilling stare. That's probably why its gaze is affectionately nicknamed the death stare. Known as a shoebill, even Joe Rogan gave the shoebill a social media shout-out.
The craziest animal of all time.
But this bird has other captivating attributes. How big do they get? Why do they make such jarring machine gun sounds? And if a shoebill gives you the death stare, should you be scared? Long before the shoebill found itself on social media, it appeared in ancient Egyptian artwork because it's so common in the Nile's watershed areas. Now, these creatures primarily call the wetlands of southern Uganda and Sudan their homes, and because shoebills don't migrate, they've inhabited these regions for eons. Scientists often refer to shoebills as living dinosaurs. They evolved from carnivorous dinosaurs called theropods, the same group as the colossal Tyrannosaurus rex. Over time, shoebills traded their sharp teeth and snouts for their large, distinctive beaks. These oddly shaped beaks are the bird's most striking feature and remind us of a Dutch clog shoe. It measures up to 30 centimeters long and 12.7 centimeters wide. Their bills are large, and they're so strong that an adult shoebill can decapitate a baby crocodile.
Oh, that is whack!
Shoebills are considered ambush predators. They stand completely still in the water, sometimes for hours, waiting for prey to approach. When a snack finally swims by, like a tasty lungfish, their favorite meal by the way, they plunge bill first into the water, cleaving their victim in two. Another striking feature is the shoebill's intimidating size. On an expedition to Africa in 1840, German explorers were told by an indigenous guide about an unusual bird as big as a camel, but with a bill like a pelican's. They were the first Europeans to hear of the shoebill. They get a gold star. While the shoebill is shorter than a camel, it's still a big bird. They grow up to 1.5 meters tall, with a wingspan of up to 2.4 meters, but only weigh around 6.8 kilograms, about as much as a turkey. In addition to being able to cut their prey in half, the shoebills engage in bill clattering, which they use as a greeting and during nesting. This is what creates the startling, machine gun-like sounds they're known for. Shoebills are also known for their strange ways of cooling down. Gular fluttering vibrates the throat muscles to dissipate heat. A much more unseemly cool-down technique is urohydrosis, or pooping on their legs to regulate body temperature, as one does. You'd think standing in water all day would be enough to cool them, but to each their own. I'm not judging. I kind of am. On a less disgusting note, you hopeless romantics out there might be happy to know that these birds, like swans and emperor penguins, are monogamous. And although you might be scared stiff if a shoebill gives you its famous death stare, you needn't worry. Humans are predators rather than prey to the shoebill, a vulnerable species that is becoming rare. The shoebill's dwindling population is mainly due to poaching, livestock farming, and oil drilling. These big birds are also targets of the exotic pet trade. Some private collectors reportedly pay over $10,000 to add a live shoebill to their menagerie. All right, I want names and addresses. One last oddity about shoebills is that they invert their pouches beneath their beaks over their necks and chests when they yawn. It's called glottis exposure, and while this is a strange trait, their pelican relatives do it too. Making machine gun noises and scaring people with their death stares is what shoebills do. This creature is one durable son of a gun. And even though it looks like an overgrown weasel, it's fierce, smart, and shouldn't be underestimated. This is the honey badger, one of the most vicious animals on the planet. And it doesn't care.
Honey badger don't care, it just takes what it wants.
These mean, snuffling mammals gained viral fame because of their ability to battle deadly animals like cobras and lions. Even a swarm of stinging African bees doesn't deter a honey badger. So what makes honey badgers so tough? How smart are they? And do they really bite their attackers' testicles?
That's gotta hurt!
Let's get one thing straight. Honey badgers aren't badgers. I know it's weird, but I don't make the rules, so there you go. They belong to the animal kingdom's Mellivora genus, which includes weasels and skunks.
Not me.
They live in sub-Saharan Africa, the Middle East, and Western Asia in habitats ranging from tropical forests and grasslands to arid steppes. Honey badgers grow up to 96 centimeters long and weigh about 14 kilograms. So while they're not particularly large, what they lack in size, they make up for in attitude. Honey badgers are opportunistic omnivores. This means they're not picky and will eat almost anything from berries that's not all. Their skin is also loose and flexible, especially around their necks. When they get caught in the maws or claws of a predator, honey badgers can twist and slip out of their attackers' deadly grips, often leaving their predators hungry and confused. Like their skunk cousins, honey badgers have scent glands at the base of their tails. When threatened, these glands spray a noxious fume that can travel up to 40 meters.
Ooh, that smells.
These stink bombs also tranquilize bees, allowing honey badgers to feast on bee larvae undisturbed. And honey badgers are incredibly smart. They're one of the few non-primate animals that use tools. At an animal rehabilitation center in South Africa, a mischievous honey badger named Stoffel made a makeshift ladder out of stones and dirt. Then he climbed it and escaped from his enclosure. This was just one of the many tricks Stoffel used to escape, much to the amazement of his caretakers. They were especially annoyed when they found him raiding their kitchen for snacks. At the end of the day, though, it's the honey badger's brawn and fearlessness that captivates people around the world. These badgers can fight much larger predators because they know exactly where to strike their opponents. When fighting male animals, it's their testicles. Ouch! While evolutionary biologists don't fully understand this behavior, this is an important survival strategy for the honey badger. Male lions tend to avoid the small honey badger for fear of getting bitten in their you-know-whats. And who can blame them? That'll teach them to mess with the honey badger. Is it a rabbit? Or is it a chinchilla? It's a viscacha, and it's going viral for always looking sleepy. Are viscachas a rabbit-chinchilla hybrid? Why do they always look sleepy? And does that make them easy prey? Let's find out about this adorable furball, the viscacha. Viscachas are native to South America, and there are a few different species of them, but today we're going to focus on the mountain viscacha. With their furry coats and pointy ears, you could easily mistake them for a rabbit. But you would be wrong. They're closely related to rabbits and chinchillas, but viscachas are unique. If you see them during the daytime, that's usually their chill time. They're most active during dawn and dusk. So sleepiness is not their most surprising characteristic, but it makes them look adorable. But do you think it makes them an easy target for predators? Although they look drowsy, they're expert climbers and move extremely fast. And to help them maneuver around the rocky terrain, they have fleshy pads on their feet, so they're perfectly suited to their habitat. They also find safety in numbers, so they live in groups. And they use a clever warning system to make sure the whole group knows there's danger. Their loud, abrupt whistles sound like a bird call. Isn't it nice that they look after each other? Aw. And they've evolved another valuable trait from living high up in the mountains. At these altitudes, water is scarce, so they get all their water from food. Their diet is strictly vegetarian, so they usually eat grasses, moss, and lichen. But they'll eat anything that's plant-based. Beggars can't be choosers. And one last trait, which is definitely adorable, is that you can tell how they are feeling by looking at their tails. Their tails usually curl up when the animals are resting, but it will extend up to its full length of 35 centimeters when a viscacha's feeling anxious or moving. They couldn't be any more lovable, could they? But because of where they live, researchers have not studied viscachas much. But we do know their numbers are slightly declining as people hunt them for their meat and fur. So maybe it would be kinder if we just let them be. They always look sleepy, but they're experts at surviving. That's what viscachas do, and that's what makes them crazy creatures.